Irish Foreign Minister Simon Coveney has warned that the UK against breaching international law over its plans to override the Northern Ireland Protocol. At a meeting with his British counterpart, Coveney said that London was trying to move the goalposts that it's agreed as part of its Brexit deal with the European Union. For more on this, we can go over to our correspondent, Shona Murray, who joins us from Brussels. Shona, you've been speaking to Simon Coveney after that meeting with his British counterpart, Liz Truss. Were you able to get a sense of how that meeting went?
Yes, Helena, actually, and he said it was blunt. He said he was clear and she was clear about their position, so there didn't seem to be any progress made on the substantive issues at that meeting. It seemed to be quite a hard meeting, but he made the point that some of the briefings coming from Downing Street and the UK government to the press and so on, being that the EU is being inflexible, he said that doesn't reflect reality. In fact, the EU is being very flexible, wants to sit down to negotiate the issues around the protocol. And he said that there is a landing spot where the EU's single market can be protected, the Good Friday Agreement can be protected, and that you could have a place where goods could freely move from Great Britain to Northern Ireland with as less checks as possible. Now, I asked him about one of the theories that's emerging from the UK government, that it's taking this unilateral action and making these threats against the EU at a time when the war is in Ukraine, meaning that other member states would be less likely to impose a trade war at the UK. And he said the opposite was true, in fact. He said his fellow colleagues, fellow ministers in the EU were very annoyed at what the UK is doing.
And what I would say is that I think that expectation from the British government has actually been turned on its head, because the ministers that I've spoken to are annoyed by what's happening here. Any suggestion that the UK may be using the war in Ukraine, because of course partnership is so important in the context of that war and Russian aggression, but any using of that crisis, which is a genuine international crisis that we all need to work together on, to try to create some kind of an environment whereby setting aside a treaty between, or elements of a treaty between the EU and the UK would somehow be acceptable, I think is a miscalculation, to put it mildly.
And that's Irish Foreign Affairs Minister Simon Coveney making the point that EU ministers and member states are annoyed with the UK making this threat against the Northern Ireland Protocol at a crucial time when unity, Western unity, is so important. Helena?
Shona, we also know, of course, that we've got that US delegation in Brussels right now. Of course, they're talking about Brexit. They're talking about the Northern Ireland Protocol. The US for a long time has been very clear that it is against a hard border on the island of Ireland. So where does this leave things now with the EU, with the UK?
Well, yeah, you're right. Richard Neal from the committee, the Ways and Means Committee, which is essentially the Trade Committee of the US Congress, they're in Brussels today. And they've been making the point, they've been meeting with Maros Sefcovic, Valdis Dombrovskis, the EU's Trade Commissioner, that the US has a strong relationship with the European Union, with the UK and with Ireland. And also it was one of the most important partners in achieving the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, and so therefore has a vested interest in ensuring that peace on the island of Ireland is maintained through the Good Friday Agreement. And we heard from Richard Neal, you know, at that meeting today, where he's been saying that he wants to get the issue resolved, but the US has been very clear. We heard from Nancy Pelosi as well that there won't be a US-UK trade agreement if the British government continues to proceed in breaching international law and the agreement it made on the Northern Ireland Protocol when it left the European Union. Helena?